Welcome to myGSPN Live. You're here with your host, Robert Brown.
And Jose Rodriguez.
And we're grateful to be back this Monday. Before we jump into the show, let's hear a word from our sponsor, Garden Grocer. If you're in the Disney Resort area, go to www.gardengrocer.com. Place an order for snacks, drinks, food, whatever you need. You'll save time, money, energy, and we'll have it delivered to your resort at the time of your arrival. We want to jump into Florida baseball. It is finished now. We have the championship games from our bigger districts, 9, 8, 7, 6, and 5A, and we'll remind you of the champions of 4, 3, 2, and 1A. So the last time we left off, we told you the final four of some of these schools. So we'll give you the final score with that. Jupiter defeated Columbus 9-4. Timber Creek defeated Dr. Phillips 5-1. That was your 9A Final Four, and in your championship game, we had Timber Creek versus Jupiter. We actually don't have the score of this game on here. We'll update our website, but I do believe that Jupiter came away with that victory.
Which was an upset.
Yeah, which was an upset. So we will check that so we're not leading you with wrong information.
Now going down to 8A is going to be Strawberry Crest 2 versus Sarasota 5. And these are the semis before you go into the championship. Now the full championship for 8A is Sarasota 4 against St. Thomas Aquinas. And obviously St. Thomas Aquinas got the W 8-4, as I said previously. You know, again, people expected this. St. Thomas Aquinas not only good at baseball but at other sports. They were expected to get the W and, you know, get another state championship right under their wing.
Definitely. The final four for 7 and 6A already happened, and we mentioned those on the last show. But our championship games were set. We had Pace versus Venice. We had Venice winning 3-1, and then we have in the 6A Jefferson versus Merritt Island. Jefferson comes away with the 6-5 victory and a really close matchup there.
I mean, it could have gone both ways, but again, it is a championship game for states and for their, you know, 9A division, 4A division, in this case being a 6A division. So again, these are divisions that have a lot of talent and a lot of competition throughout the whole area. So
definitely big time schools, big time programs. We go to our 5A. We have the final four for you on that. Bowles 4 versus Nature Coast 1. Bowles advances. Avon Park versus Mansour Pace. 4-3. Mansour Pace advances, and they actually get the championship, beating Bowles 10-4. So Mansour Pace is your 5A state championship.
And then going on to 4A, 3A, 2A, and 1A, these already happened, and because their districts and the divisions are way smaller than the ones we just mentioned, not as much as many schools, different competitions.
So they finished a little bit earlier.
Exactly. So the champions for 4A, 3A, 2A, 1A are right here. For 4A, starting off is Calvary Christian. For 3A is Canterbury. 2A champions is Miami Christian. And for 1A champions is Port St. Joe. Again, these are, you know, just because they're in a smaller division doesn't mean that their talent and the competition levels is any smaller or different than the ones from 6A and up.
And now for the 4A, that is Calvary Christian Academy. Calvary Christian was on their 60-game win streak earlier. If you don't get that last word, it's two different teams. They're too close, too similar. We do have a look around the country, staying in baseball because it is getting towards the end. We have an article on myGSPN if you'd like to go check that out about the Argyle Eagles from Texas. They're currently 35-0, and they've reached the 4A state championship game. We'll have another article, you know, if they hopefully win this championship game and go 36-0.
They're on the pace for it.
Yeah,
not to interrupt you, but if you can go 35-0 in Texas baseball, which is, you know, I played college in Texas and high school, college, the whole state, you know, it's a state for sports, especially for football and baseball. So it's a really tough state to play in. And they're doing a great job.
Yeah, they're about to be state champs at 36-0 again. The Argyle Eagles, they are 35-0. So go to myGSPN and check out that article. We've told you, and this is the first show back where we're getting into it, but FIFA World Cup is coming. We want to dive into it and
knocking on our door.
Yeah, it really is. We want to dive into it and not, you know, get ahead of it. So right now we have some of the top teams. Not all these teams will be participating in the World Cup this year. USA didn't make it, but
these are some of the rankings that we're going to take place before, you know, pre-qualifications and qualifications.
So we have our top 5 here, and then three other major countries that I feel can really make a move in this World Cup and have a good chance
I personally
in winning
feel
it.
the ones that are even on the top 5 might win it all.
Yeah,
That's just how I feel.
and then we have our host nation as well, with Russia being on the bottom of the list. But let's jump into it with number 1 FIBA ranked team in the world right now. FIBA ranked country in the world. I'm sorry.
That's true.
With Germany.
Now Germany, 4 times World Cup champions. They're the powerhouse. They won the last World Cup that took place in South Africa, and again, it was just insane.
Yeah, fantastic players.
Actually, they beat it in Brazil, not South Africa. Excuse me about that.
Oh yeah, sure.
But with everything going on, they're being led by, again, a bunch of talent. Marco Reus, Jerome Boateng. But the ones you got to look close to are Toni Kroos and Mesut Özil. These guys are just powerhouses. They're midfielders that play the game, know how to play the game, and especially Mesut Özil. This is going to be his 4th World Cup, and this guy's a champ. He doesn't get tired. He doesn't get old. He debuted when he was a teenager, so that's probably the reason. So
and Kroos has basically won every trophy there is to win in football.
Playing with Real Madrid, that's how you get.
He's won everything. So
not only that, he's playing for the best country to go into the World Cup, but he's also playing for the best club in Europe, which is Real Madrid.
So he's coming off a championship to possibly win another championship.
Now, another favorite in the rankings is number 2 team is Brazil.
This is my favorite to win the World Cup.
I mean, Brazil got a good chance, but they're also just 1 World Cup champ on top of Germany. They have 5 in total over the years.
But that 5 does make them the all-time leader in World Cup wins.
Of course, but again, there's a lot of teams in the mix for the win of the whole World Cup this year. And, they're being led by Neymar. Of course, that's a no-brainer.
He's healthy, ready to play, ready to go.
They got Firmino, they got Jesus, Paulinho. Again, a bunch of different other names. They got Philippe Coutinho, Casemiro, again, from Real Madrid. And they also have Thiago Silva, which is going to be their captain, plays from PSG as well.
Marcelo.
Yeah, you can't forget Marcelo from Real Madrid as well. A great ball mover. And the other team that a lot of people don't take into consideration is Belgium.
This is one you were talking about a lot.
Belgium, don't sleep on Belgium, because they got De Bruyne. He was one of the main forwards for Manchester City in the Premier League, having them almost go undefeated for the pretty much part of the whole season.
Yeah.
They also have Lukaku, which is another great forward, and they have Eden Hazard as well, who plays for Chelsea in the Premier League as well. These 3 guys up top, or playing 2, 1 in attacking mid, it's going to be a fun thing to watch. And not only that, but they also have another player named Hazard, not to get confused with Eden Hazard, that plays forward for Belgium. He's also a great defender, and he can also be played as a midfielder too. So they're a great team to watch. So I think that's one of the teams that are in the mix to win it all. One of the ones that might sneak in and take everyone by surprise.
Now, not only these players, but because of them, now their countries are linked together so closely. Number 4 and 5, we've got Portugal at number 4, led by Cristiano, who is he the number 1? Is he the number 2? Is he 1A, 1B? But then number 5, Argentina, led by the other guy that's in the conversation with
Leo
them.
Messi,
Yeah.
I feel like, Ronaldo obviously has a lot of accolades, a lot of trophies. He's pretty much won every trophy that you can win when it comes to playing soccer.
5 Champions League, except the World Cup.
And same thing with Lionel Messi. Everybody's saying the whole argument here is, if Ronaldo wins a World Cup, he can retire happy. Same thing with Lionel Messi. If he wins a World Cup, then he'll be the greatest player, in the world.
In my opinion, Messi I'm not saying he's better. Messi has 2 gold medals in the Olympics. Ronaldo doesn't have any, but Ronaldo does have a European championship. So, what's more important?
I feel, when you're playing in the toughest continent, which has the toughest leagues, which is Europe, of course, if you win all these trophies in Europe, you're, right there in the top.
But Argentina, I don't feel they're beating Brazil. And
I feel like Ronaldo already conquered Europe. Now it's time for him to conquer the world with the World Cup. So it has to be. It's just it has to be next level game. He can't get injured like what happened in the last World Cup. It was taken off the field in a mad
Actually
car.
reminds me a lot of the Salah incident that happened. Kind of the upsetness. You could see the frustration on his face,
man,
and
Egypt is gone.
Yeah, you could
Egypt
feel
is
it.
gone.
You could feel it in the crowd, not only for the Liverpool fans when that happened, but the Egypt fans. It was, they're hoping.
I'm rooting for Spain when it comes to the World Cup, and I figure, I'm also a Real Madrid fan, so I know Sergio Ramos plays dirty, but people like to blame Sergio Ramos for that play.
Yeah.
But if you look closely in the video,
He locked up
Salah locked up his arm first, and before they play the game, they water the grass, so it might be a little slippery. They are playing with rubber cleats,
True.
so they might have slipped, and to hold on. The natural reaction when you're falling is to grab onto something.
Yeah.
So the closest thing that Ramos had near him was Salah. So I mean, the incident just happened. It's just completely bad luck.
Yeah.
And again, it was just a terrible news for the country of Egypt and for the team of Egypt as well.
Well, moving on from our top 5 again, just to mention, Portugal did win the last European Championship in 2016, so maybe they're still riding a little high note for that. Argentina, as I said, has 2 Olympic gold medals. They also have 2 World Cup championships. Out of our top 5, we have, we'll jump right into 6 and 7 because you mentioned Spain already. They're 7th and 8th, I'm sorry. 7th is France. They're loaded. They've got talent all over the field, and they can score this ball.
That's one team that people are sleeping on, if I can say that. Are you serious?
If you can.
Like, dude, they got Antoine Griezmann, they got Paul Pogba, they got Dembele, they got, Umtiti, they got. I can just keep going and naming people over and over and over and over again. And Kylian Mbappe, this guy's only 19 years old, playing he looks like a 25-year-old. He barely has any hair. So
Varane.
Varane as well. So
loaded.
They're crazy good, And again, people should not sleep on them. Antoine Griezmann led the Atletico Madrid in La Liga to 2nd place.
And to a Europa League championship.
So Europa League champions as well. So even if Europa League is not the biggest thing as a UEFA Champions League, it's still a trophy in one of the toughest continents to play in, which is Europe, especially in La Liga, playing against Real Madrid, Barcelona,
Valencia.
Exactly,
everybody.
all these teams that are out there, and because they also play Premier League teams. So you got to think about that. If you're playing that great caliber, for example, another one that plays and represents a French club is Paul Pogba. He came from Juventus and now he's playing for Manchester United.
Right? Yeah.
Manchester United's also in the Premier League, one of the top teams in the Premier League, if I should say. Every year they go.
And now we've got your team, number 8, as we talked about a little bit, your 2010 World Cup champs. They've won.
And I'll say it again, they're going to be the 2018 World Cup champs.
3-time European champions. They've got Olympic gold medalists. They've got basically all of Real Madrid's Spanish players and most of Barcelona's Spanish players.
Me being a Real Madrid fan, there's this one player that I really like to watch him play. He's young, Marco Asensio. He's gonna have to do a lot, and he's gonna be one of the breakout players. You know how the World Cup always has a breakout player. In Brazil, it was James for Colombia, and then that turned out so good for him that he got to deal with Real Madrid and went to Bayern Munich, etc. This year is gonna be Marco Asensio. He's gonna get the playing time he deserves with Real Madrid after that happens. He's no longer gonna be a sub, but a starter. That's just my predictions. Now, but not only that, they also have one of the best ball handlers and movers in the whole, World Cup, which is Andres Iniesta, which, renounced to playing
and this will
with
be
Barcelona.
last.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's gonna move on. I thought he was gonna go into retirement, but apparently he signed a deal to go to China and play there. So it was a shocker for everybody. We all thought he was gonna go retire because he's getting older, but he just did not want to play against his former club, which is FC Barcelona. So he's going on and leaving to Asia. So again, a bad decision. But going into 13 and 24, 13 is going to be England. They haven't won a World Cup since the 1960s.
Yeah.
So again, it's going to be a lot of pressure. The English love football, or should I say soccer.
Yeah.
And they live for it. So again, they're going to be led by Harry Kane and Dele Alli. So again, it's going to be exciting to watch. All these teams have a lot of talent. They obviously made it to the world's top teams to represent themselves in the World Cup for a reason.
England's team is 100% comprised of Premier League players.
And the Premier League is a tough league to play.
And they keep all that talent at home.
They're stingy.
So,
They're stingy with it, you know. And I would do the same thing. England's a small country, and if you have so much talent, don't share it with a lot of people.
Definitely. Now, number 24, it is the United States. Our best finish is third in the 1930 World Cup. Just a piece of history for you to know, because we will not be playing in this World Cup. If we have some friendly games, try to catch it, support the U.S., but we are working on our men's national soccer team.
Yeah, you know, it's a rebuilding process for them.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's getting old. Dempsey. You know, now we have a rising star with Cam Pulisic that plays for Borussia Dortmund in the Bundesliga league, and he's also a teenager. You know, 19, 20 years old. Again, a lot of talent. So he's going to be the main piece and center of the USA team for the years to come. You know, this was how I said about Marco Asensio for Spain, that he was going to be the breakout player. You know, USA, if they were to contend into this World Cup this year, I felt like
he would have been that breakout.
Exactly, you know, because he's already playing amazing football in the German league. And the Bundesliga is one of the toughest leagues to play in the entire world. You know, just throwing that out there. So if you can perform at that level, you know, again, there's a trio of teenagers that are going to be impactful in the World Cup with Kylian Mbappe for France. You know, it would have been Cam Pulisic for the USA, but Marco Asensio again, and the list just keeps going on and on and on. So just stay tuned, you know, and it'll be a great World Cup to watch. Probably by far the best.
Now, a good thing for the United States, our women's soccer team is fantastic. They've been to every World Cup, and they've medaled in every single last one of them. Last team on this list is Russia. They are ranked 66 right now in the world. We put them on here because they are the host nation, just in case you didn't know. You know, they've been having kind of a tour of the World Cup trophy going through Russia until it gets to its final destination, where they'll have opening and closing ceremonies. It should be an exciting...
Yeah, lucky for them, they didn't have to qualify. They hosted.
So it'll be an exciting World Cup. So can't wait for that to get going and us to continue our coverage on that. Now, we've been covering NBA basketball.
Yeah, what about yesterday?
And Golden State right now has a 2-game lead over Cleveland with a 103-122 victory. As he said, it should not be 1-1. It doesn't matter. The refs can say, and you can say all this about the refs.
No,
they find a way to win.
It's not about the refs. You know, he should have made those 2 free throws. Should have made those 2 free throws. It would have been up by 1 point. The clock would have ticked. Maybe the Splash Brothers or KD would have synced one in. And
there was like almost 5 full seconds. It was 4 point something seconds left on the clock. If he makes that, they call timeout, an automatic advance over half court. And now you give Golden State's offense over 4 seconds. That's like 4 dribbles. 3 dribbles and a pass, 3 passes. You can do a lot in 4 seconds with that team on the court.
The thing is, look, you can't miss an opportunity against Golden State.
That
was an opportunity that could, you know, you can't go into overtime with a team that scores so much. You know, Cleveland, they're just demolishing points in the paint. That's how they're getting their points, and most of the points in the mid-range and in the paint. But if you're scoring, you know, a field goal that's 2 points, and then Curry or Clay or even KD comes in and splashes a 3, they're still up by 1.
And you'll work your entire possession, and then they come right back at you and score within 6-7 seconds. So
it doesn't matter.
You're so tired constantly. I'm running back. Running back on offense. I'm running back on defense. They shot another 3 and hit it. I got to run back on offense. You think you should get rest on offense,
but you're not.
Yeah, you don't at all. It's one of the toughest
And the thing is, you know, for Cleveland, the ones that shoot 3s, they got to step up. You know, Kevin Love is the only one that's putting up numbers for LeBron. You know, I don't like the negativity around Kevin Love. He's been actually, you know, as you said earlier, he's been hooping.
22 points, 10 rebounds last night, and LeBron also got help from George Hill with 15 points.
The one that needs to step up is JR. Put up 5 points. Tristan Thompson, you're the big man. You know, LeBron can't out-rebound you. I'm sorry, he's already doing too much. You just got to give him the ball and you got to score. And rebounds is your job.
He almost had a triple-double with 29 points, 13 assists, 9 rebounds. He's doing everything he can. But when you look at Golden State's stat line, Steph Curry had 33 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds. Klay Thompson had 26 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. I'm sorry, that's Kevin Durant. Klay Thompson added 20 points.
Not only that, but Steph Curry had a finals record for 3 points made in a
Nine
game.
threes, 9 for 17 from three. That's
insane. Like, I mean, this guy's blessed.
His eighth three that he hit with the shot clock running out,
That
he
buzzer-
loses it behind his back.
He literally just threw it up.
That's a shooter. He has so much so much touch, and it's perfect. I've never seen anything like that. He can turn around,
He's a sniper, man.
Turn around without even
Sniper.
looking at the basket and throw it up there, just having a feeling
And that's
of where it is.
that's where this saying comes in. You know, practice makes perfect.
Yep.
And perfect makes
Perfect practice
exactly.
Yep.
Now
we want to finish with Draymond though. He had 5 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Game 1, he was, I want to say, 2 assists or 2 steals off of a 5-by-5 game. That's having, you know, at least 5 of something in 5 different categories. There's been like 113 triple doubles in the NBA this year. There hasn't been a single 5-by-5 game, and he's gotten the closest. So just to put in perspective how important he is.
Now, one key player also for the Warriors that stepped up, and you know, I'm gonna say a baseball term and a basketball term might not even fit. Stepped up to the plate. You know, it was JaVale McGee.
Yeah,
He came up with 15 points. You know, not as many rebounds that you would expect from him, but he was boxing out, you know, Tristan Thompson, Kevin Love in the paint.
6 for 6 from the field.
So he did his job. He was doing.
Sean Livingston came in, was 5 for 5 from the field, was perfect as well. You know, they have
don't
so
give him
many
space
pieces.
on that mid-range.
You can't. And they're missing their I don't want to say their key piece because of how important that big 3 is, how important Draymond is, but Andre Iguodala makes them a completely different team and takes them to an entirely another level, unleashes them.
I feel like Iguodala it's one player that you can compare to LeBron, not only in size, but in basketball IQ.
Yeah, and what he does on the court, he does everything for this team.
He can literally play any position and still, you know, do good for his team.
Game 3 will be Wednesday in Cleveland at 9 p.m. You know, they gave up game 1. I don't think they'll get a game. I think that was their best shot. But if there is any chance in the world that they get a game, I think it's going to have to be game 3.
It's going to be game 3. And I think, you know, I don't know if it's rigged, but it usually happens like this. It's not going to be a game 7.
No.
It might even go at most probably 5 games if they win 1.
That's what I said at the beginning. LeBron averaging 50-point triple-double might push it to 5, but I still don't think it's happening.
I mean, my prediction is gonna be, you know, everybody saw JR yesterday. He looked uncomfortable on the court, and Kevin Love was the only one pushing, you know, to help LeBron out. So I think my prediction for Game 3 is gonna be JR is gonna drop 30, Kevin Love is gonna drop, you know, his 25, his 20, gonna do a good night, 50% from the 3-point lane, and LeBron's just gonna do LeBron. So hopefully that's enough for them to at least, you know, get a good defensive game and, I don't know, maybe stop the Warriors, because they're honestly this basketball is not their best basketball.
It isn't.
Steph Curry only made 33 points, but he could have easily had about 50 last night. But the way they distribute the ball, they're not selfish.
Not at all. Not at all. I've got Golden State blowing Cleveland out by at least 20 next game. LeBron is gonna do LeBron. You clearly can't stop that. I even think Kevin Love may show up for another game. Everybody else, I think they'll lock up. JR, I don't think
they gotta give more minutes to Kyle Korver.
They have to, especially with JR playing so bad. But game again, it will be in Cleveland, 9 p.m. on Wednesday. Any student athlete that would like to be featured on our show, please send us in videos at myGSPN.com.
Again, today this show to you was brought to you by Garden Grocer. Now, if you're coming in the Disney area for vacation, make sure to visit www.gardengrocer.com. For any of your family needs, you can order groceries, snacks, beverages, and anything that you want to save more money, eat what you want while on vacation, and not put a hole in your wallet. Again, that's www.gardengrocer.com. And thank you for watching.
That last part is important.
Oh yeah, you don't want to hole in your wallet.
Not at all. Thank you for tuning in to the live show. We encourage all student athletes to go to myGSPN.com, sign up for a player profile page, and follow us on all our social media so we can get interacting with you guys. Again, we thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back later for more shows.
Thank you for tuning in.